Hello.
Uh,
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh wait, did we
hello.
invite two
We got
people?
two people?
Sorry,
How's that
Sanji.
happened?
The head was here earlier, so we're
Okay.
gonna move you back. Sorry about that. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So my first point is that plants also feel pain and are living creatures too. So why is it okay to not kill animals, but to kill plants?
Where have you heard or read that plants feel and think like are sentient beings? Where have you heard that?
So I actually have an aunt that I forgot what she studies in, but she told me and she linked me to some articles. I don't have them on paper for you, so I can't send you them. But she looked me into some articles and studies that were talking about how plants actually feel pain, and when they do, they release up a chemical to protect themselves.
I
Right.
everywhere where I've heard this, it's got nothing to do with them actually feeling pain. It's just a response to stimuli, like a computer. When you press the B button, it will give you a B. Just because something responds doesn't suddenly mean that it has the capacity to perceive and feel and experience. So I would actually look into the data yourself. If you're hearing or reading things that say intelligence, response, that doesn't tell you about feeling and thinking. It's not the consensus that they are
It
sentient
doesn't. It
beings.
doesn't mean that they have a conscious. Like it doesn't mean that they have a consciousness and a set of feelings.
Sorry, the debater chat debate head did not come and debunk them. In case you didn't know, the plants you see above, that's the plant's reproductive system, and their brain is their roots. That's the thing that does everything. So in case you didn't know, you know that grass you smell when you cut grass? It's actually a response for the grass feeling pain. There's been multiple studies that actually prove that grass actually scream. We just can't hear it. So ha 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 ha. Get flexed on. Get flexed on. But I just dropped the argument because I knew since I didn't have it on hand, because I was an alien and didn't have it on hand, they wouldn't accept it. So I just dropped it and changed it to something else. But it doesn't really matter.
Associated with it. Like, yeah, like if something it responds intelligently or responds to stimuli, like that doesn't again that doesn't mean like with any number of things like robots, computers, we program them to be able to respond and have intelligence in some form, but that doesn't mean that we think they have consciousness, right? So
It's worth noting as well that even if we suddenly do find out that all these plants do in fact, feel and think and suffer, we've got this problem where we're feeding like 70 plus billion land animals crops to begin with. We're, deforesting and plowing down land, and foliage to make way for, cattle to, be bred to be killed. So, even if we wanted to like live in, a world where we were causing the least suffering possible, if that were, our goal, then you would be incentivized to be vegan anyway, because like feeding these animals who a lot of the time have a bigger calorie intake than we do, all these crops, well, that's more plants allegedly suffering and dying.
Oh, like, no, my point wasn't like that, like plant suffering was bad. My point was like, if plants like truly do feel pain and have a sentient consciousness, then like, why is animals above plants?
Okay, so even in this case, the vegan solution would be the solution, because you'd be doing less, because obviously it is the case that we do actually need to eat. So if you're looking to minimize the negative impact that you're having on other, in this case plants were sentient as well, sentient beings, then you wouldn't want to have the food system that we currently have, where we're feeding, these plants to animals to then kill the animals.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the reason that the thing is, it's simply not the case that they are sentient. I know that you've heard it from a friend, but you're going to want to look at if you can find actual data. Like, I wouldn't just trust what your mate said for these sorts of truth claims about the world, because otherwise the world's going to be, incredibly confusing. Just look at the data yourself. And when we're looking at data, you'll want to look up something called the hierarchy of scientific evidence, and you're going to be wanting to look for like the top portion of those things, if you can find that, within the plant sentience discussion, not articles online, not anything like that. They're not reliable. So
Or
have a
no,
look.
just like random blog articles. We're not
Yeah,
talking like it just like not every piece of evidence is created equal. So
no.
you just look for the ones that have the highest. Again, you can look at the hierarchy of scientific evidence, and then once you look at the highest ones, those are generally the ones that are going to give you your best answers.
Okay, my next point would simply be that, like, since animals taste good, it's fine for me to eat them, as they're a lower form of being than I am.
So would it
Vegan
be
gaze going.
okay for people to bludgeon dogs to death if they enjoyed the sounds of their bones breaking because they're a lower form of
Well,
life? So
well, for me, I hold
sorry, you carry
I
on.
hold dogs at a higher value, as they give me more pleasure.
So this is a very I hear this a lot, that people they place value on other sentient beings based upon their relationship to them, insofar as it becomes acceptable to violate their rights if they don't have a personal relationship to them. Do you not think that's
But I have a
potentially
question.
really dangerous?
I have a question.
Can you answer? Wait. Let's slow down a second though. So you've just said that you believe that a dog shouldn't be, bludgeoned to death, and shouldn't be, have all these things that a pig, will experience for, someone's bacon. They shouldn't experience that because you personally, you get more pleasure from them. So you're basing their value, their individual, they're their own being, but you're saying that they have value as soon as they give something to you, right?
I'm correct. Because think about it. If something's not giving something to you, or others around you, what value does it have?
So do you believe that somebody like who is considered bedbound, for the rest of their
Oh no,
life?
not humans, like animals.
Yeah, but what's the relevant difference between a human and an animal that would justify that?
Animals are not as smart as humans.
But there are human beings who have the intelligence level of other animals. So what's the problem?
But those humans still share my DNA and things like that. So
So
there's still things that I can relate to them with.
so again, you're placing it upon, what they are in reference to you individually, right? So they share your DNA, therefore they don't get exploited and killed, but others do.
Like, what do you mean others? Like animals or
Yeah,
humans?
animals.
Animals, so like they provide protein for. Sorry for butting in, but how dare you misgender me? She said this is species. Has she? I am a he. How dare you? You species. By the way, actually, I've spent time with pig, cows, and chicken before. Yeah, I actually decapitated their head once. It's actually pretty nice to eat afterwards. That's when we eat them, and it's healthy for us too. So it's also another issue of health. And
Right.
also
So hang on.
ease.
What's the health issue being plant-based?
It provides more protein for smaller portions. Like, in order to get the same amount of protein in vegetables and stuff, you have to actually eat more vegetables
That's
than
not.
you
No,
would
it's
have
not
to
necessarily the
eat.
case. There are loads of protein-rich plant foods. It just
Did I ever say that I weren't? I simply said meat has more protein, which is a fact. Meat. One large steak has more protein than 100 green beans. I don't know if that's true, but you know what I'm trying to say. I can have one steak, one singular steak, okay? And you compare it to one green bean. That green bean has less. Asparagus, which is known for protein, I'm pretty sure. Or is asparagus known for iron? Meat has iron too. Oh, boom. Also, vegans tend to have a B12 deficiency. So
depends on like what macro you're looking for. And again, why the essence on protein? Like, why, when you can get other protein and you can get it at a similar, if not the same level, why suddenly would you condemn, another living, feeling, sentient being to being exploited and killed, all for protein? You said intelligence level, you said shared DNA. Like, what? So if you had like a person who looked like a human, behaved like a human, but you found out that your DNA was different, like
what do you mean? Are they not human?
Well, they're not
Like
technically
the
human
DNA.
because they don't share your DNA, like, even like, because we share when we're looking at animals, they share a massive percentage of DNA with us, but it's not the same. So change it up in so much that it's not, you know, shared DNA with you anymore. You're then saying, okay, well, they don't share DNA with me, so are they free game to exploit and kill? If they're really unintelligent, they don't share your DNA, but they look like a human and feel like a human, and they don't contribute to society, are they suddenly free reign to kill?
Yeah, yes.
Why?
They don't contribute to society, and their DNA is not shared with me.
Okay,
So,
let me ask you, right? So, say for example, when someone gets murdered, a human being, why do you think it's bad?
because that human being wanted to live, and they're human.
Exactly. So the human being, they wanted to live. So a pig, a cow, a chicken, they also want to live. So that would be horrible for them to experience, you know, those moments of being killed and have their entire existence taken from them, right? Even if they weren't aware.
Yeah. Another thing though is that if animals could eat us, they would.
That's
To the comments at the end, my friend did not tell me that meat was healthy. Meat's just healthy. Deal with it. Sucks. Oh, you wanna cry? You wanna cry? You wanna cry like a baby? I will slit a pig's throat any day to get some of that bacon. I don't care. Try me.
the
Just
matter. Someone would brutally murder me if given the chance, or steal from me. It doesn't suddenly mean just because they would that I have grounds to be allowed to do that myself or take that opportunity.
But then again, animals, we consume them. We eat them for our pleasure to eat. We're supposed to eat them, so.
We're not supposed to like eat them, and even if we were, if we can get away with not eating them, which we can, the consensus is that a well-planned plant-based diet is suitable for all stages of life. So we know that we don't have to consume their bodies. It's not a requirement. So like an
But you also
animal,
have
as
to
you
think
said,
about
like
price.
when you take away the life of it, I was talking about human beings. Yeah, they do want to live, but so do other animals. But
But animals aren't humans.
yeah, and again though, when I gave you the example of the human being who is unintelligent, doesn't contribute to society, doesn't share our DNA, and they still want to live, so it would still be sad to murder them, right? But you would be fine to kill them.
Yeah, but they're not human too, so.
You'd be fine to kill them. So you'd live in that world.
What?
So you'd live in that world where a person who looks just like a human, but they're not, they're unintelligent, and they don't contribute to society really, you know, you'd be happy with them being exploited and killed.
I wouldn't be necessarily happy, but if I got something out of it, then yes.
Mac, do you want to go?
After I said that, they went crazy. Like, they acted like I started being like, oh my gosh. Yeah, they acted like I was being rude to them or something. Like, if something does not provide value to you, you don't like it. You can sit here on your high horse and be like, oh no, that's cap. I love it. You're a liar. There's two types of people: people who admit that they like things that provide value to them, and liars. So continue being a liar.
How old are you?
I'm an age.
You are an age. Same. What, do you mind sharing the specific age that you are?
Sure. I'm 14.
Okay, okay, that's fine then. Mac, are you with us?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Were you tuning in for that last bit? Do you want to contribute?
Yeah, I was here. I've been here.
Okay. Do you
Oh,
want to say anything? It's been about
no,
15
I mean,
minutes.
I mean, yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, like, look, all I want to say is that like none of the differences between humans and animals justify their differential treatment for most people, and if they do, then we have someone like yourself who just kind of bit the bullet on that. So, I mean, I think we're done here. I guess the main thing that I'd say is just we don't share the same values,
I
the
think
fundamental values.
I hate to
Uh-huh.
patronize, but I think being 14, I'm pretty sure I held this kind of view that, you know, things should serve
We're not talking about a person here. Someone who looks like a person but is not a person. To summarize it, it could literally it's just a biological robot, to summarize it. So if I got something out, like if I got candy, if I got meat out of it, then yeah, for sure I'll be happy.
Me and that kind of be it.
No.
I think
I don't know if I was that. Wow, I don't speak for
maybe
yourself. I
at
was never
12
this
actually. I
self-centered
think
when I
at
was
14
14.
I was a bit more like, oh yeah, others,
Mhm.
you know, I don't, yeah, but that does
Alright.
explain it a little bit.
That's fine. Well, thanks for coming up, Bayhead. Nice chatting with you. So, and we'll get on to the next person.
Yeah, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Okay. Thanks for having.
You're welcome.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
you. Cut
Oh
him
no, I
off.
didn't mean to do it,
I
and I
was
just
struggling.
keep on doing.
I body some of them.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
literally
to.
cut me off.
Okay, let's.
I'm gonna go for a second body. I love how people are using my age as a justification. By the way, I'm actually not 14, but I will not tell you my real age. I'm younger than 14. So, get flexed on. I'm actually really smart, and people love to use the age fallacy a lot. So, yeah, get wrecked. I'm gonna go back in there and debate them again. Try and get some more clips.